Hey everybody, Abner Griffin here, and welcome back to Overland. We are in the final, presumably the final chapter. We do not know for sure, of course, but we do need to try and get through this place fucking safely, which is clearly going to be difficult. See, there's growling, which just naturally has me doubting. Oh no. Did I miss some dialogue? I must have. I don't want to put Max there. Actually, I want to see if we can interact with this at all. Oh, see, I missed that dialogue. I'm not Actually, wait, this is Max. No, because he can't interact on a diagonal. I don't like that. The thing is, the other stuff hurt us. Like, we can all get out if one person reaches the end. So, like, I find that weird, but clearly it works. I can't recognize any of this. How long do you think it goes on for? I feel like this is supposed to be, excuse me, like a guided sort of thing. Like, it's almost like a cinematic. Or they're trying to introduce us to the concept. Like, to the concept of touching stuff. I don't know what that one would have been. Oh, just people refusing to touch it. Like, we're just running through here, like, This isn't even like a check. Like, I would go so far as to believe that they were doing like a check of everybody's like stuff. Like, you have to have the right kind of gear, or at least enough gumption to do stuff with it. But I don't know. I feel like we're supposed to feel safe now, but I think this used to be California. I mean, based on the map, I would agree. No. Okay, I think I literally can't not step on grass here. And it's not giving me the option to clear stuff out, which has me concerned. Like, actually a little concerned. Okay, so that stuff isn't dangerous. Like, I actually feel a little bad killing those. I can hear it. This might be a game where at the end everybody just dies. We've seen those. At least we have 2 headlamps and a flashlight. I can't imagine what you would do if you didn't have any light. This is the coast. What do you want to do? This is it. The end of the world. Now what? Nope. Popper, come here. The last campfire. Did it matter? Do you think? Did what matter? Like, this. Getting here. Seeing this. Well, somebody had to watch the world end. I don't think that's true. Wish I had, like, 1 more month. I miss my garden. I wish I could lay in the grass just 1 more time. I wish I could have 1 last ice cream cone. I miss Arden. Yeah. I wish my kids were here. I know. God, I am so bored. Hmm. Hmm. I like the stereo on this music. You can't see me head bobbing here. So, there's a lot that could be said here, and I'm not sure just yet what to say. For a couple different reasons. I mean, first I have to say that I did enjoy this game. Save for, not last episode, but 2 episodes ago, when we had the hard mulligan. That was a very frustrating episode. But not because we lost. And then we're allowed to restart. The frustrating part there is the loop. The gameplay loop, right? Like, when you have a game where you're gonna die a lot, or like game over, there's different ways that you can handle that. And in this game, without knowing that you had a mulligan, this game is very clearly a long game. I don't even know what episode we're on. But we're on a not insignificant episode. It's like 7 or 8, right? And we're still in our first run. Actually, 6? Is this episode 6? Yeah, this is episode 6, I think. No, it's episode 7. So sorry, I'm looking at my calendar. Oh, okay. See, I like this. So yeah, like the... Oh, and they even show Arden, who died. Oh, that's actually really cool. Yeah, Arden died right there. Sorry, Arden. I'm really sorry, my dude. Are those all the achievements we got? I think those are all the achievements we got. So yeah, the downsides of a game where a single mistake... So this is a game where a single mistake can lose you the game. Like, just hands down. Now, granted, not all of them are going... Not all single mistakes could end your run. Like, I made a mistake in that I forgot last episode in which I forgot a fire extinguisher, right? Like, but I managed to go back and get it. Now, granted, if it had been in a more difficult position, I would not have gone and grabbed it. But if you make other mistakes, like not realizing that grass was dangerous, or like not realizing that was the dangerous grass, because in previous iterations you were given a very visible warning that grass was dangerous when characters stepped into it. And our one character that could make a informed call out didn't, and the dog, which makes inconsistent call outs, was inconsistent with where he was being dropped. Like, the punishment for being injured is incredibly high. Losing 2 actions around is incredibly bad. And then that's definitely the point. Like, I don't think that's bad in and of itself, but that is very punishing, which means that a mistake that gets you injured is very likely to end your run or put you in a very bad position. Now, granted, that means if I ever play this through again, I will be much more inclined to hold on to medkits. And granted, I held on to every medkit that I found. I'm still confused about what happened to that one medkit that was supposedly handed to us, but then, like, disappeared. I'm really not sure what that was all about. I'd have to actually look at the footage again. I didn't think about that before I started talking about this. But those mistakes can end your run very quickly, and if you have a long-running game, which I would argue this is a long-running game, to be able to end a run in the middle because you made a single mistake, I mean, that hurts. That's incredibly punishing. So that's frustrating when that happens because of something you don't know or couldn't necessarily have known or did something unexpectedly, right? Like, I did not expect my character to not say anything about standing in a dangerous area because they so often do. They so often do. And I'm glad for that mechanic, but there's no indication, and maybe I missed it. I actually probably should go back and review the footage. But either way, like, that was a frustrating moment. Now, that said, I still very much enjoyed the game. This was a really cool turn-based game that had a really cool subject. Now, I mean, obviously it's apocalypse, but it's the form of the apocalypse, right? Is these interesting little creatures that run around and do different things, and are clearly very slightly slower than humans. That said, their goal is to outnumber you. But like the whole sound mechanics, killing them, like avoiding them being the best way to handle things, but giving you ways that you could deal with things like howling with the dog, killing them. Those were all very good and very helpful. And I think made for interesting choices in terms of gameplay, right? Like there were some areas where we completely avoided any sort of conflict, and there are others where we just murdered the shit out of everything. Like, those sort of things happen. But it gives you that flexibility. Now, the inventory system is tough because everybody being able to only carry 2 things. Now, I know that if you look at all these people, they all have backpacks. Like, every single one of them has a backpack. I'm going to go ahead and take a wild guess that on not normal difficulty, you find people that do not have backpacks, which is rough. Like, that would be really, really rough, being able to only carry one thing. But for all I know, backpacks are standard, and maybe you can find a second backpack. Really unsure about that one, but it seems like a hard mode thing where, yeah, you just have to deal with that. And it feels kind of bad that would be the mechanic, but without having tried hard mode, I can't speak for it for certain. Equipable items being permanent benefits, I like that. Like, I like having those things like the headlamps that obviously aren't, and the binoculars and the lighter, that are like so small that they'd fit in a pocket or in the headlamp's case around your head, and binoculars around your neck. Like, that's cool. I like how those things are reflected in your character model, which is awesome. Just the fact that there are dogs and that they, while they don't have all the capabilities of humans, have their own unique abilities. Like the dog that can howl and stun everything, or the dog that can, in our case, attack everything with a silent or relatively silent, I guess, it's a natural weapon. It's his mouth, right? Like, that's kind of cool. But he can't drive a car, and he can't pour gas in to the tank, and he can't, I think, put stuff on the vehicle as well. So, things, although he can pull people into the vehicle, not quite sure how that one works. But that's not really my point. I think that one's just a game mechanic. Like, yeah, they can't do some of these things, but they can do others, but we're still going to let them do some things, otherwise they'd be a lot less useful. The biggest qualms that I have with the game, I mean, I already touched on the long gameplay, and not having knowledge. Like, your second gameplay is going to go a lot easier. Your second playthrough is going to go a lot easier because you know a lot of stuff. Now, granted, I've forgotten what some of the enemies do. I guess I don't like the lightning mechanic, because it struck randomly a couple times in ways that weren't predicted, at least I think. It's kind of hard to say, though. I could be very wrong about that. We only had a couple maps with lightning, but I was always concerned because it's an insta-kill, so even more punishing. I think you drop your stuff. I think you dropped your stuff when you got vaporized. So, like, at least a little bit of upside to that. But, yeah, mostly that. Now, I don't, once again, when you come into a game and you choose to play a game in that manner, like, you know what you're getting into, probably. But I didn't here. But my next gameplay, or my next playthrough, I will know what I'm getting into and how difficult it is. So, like, there are things there that obviously on multiple on multiple playthroughs, I keep saying gameplays, on multiple playthroughs will not be downsides, because the reason they're downsides is because they're unexpected. I think that's more where that lands. It'd be nice to be able to learn a little bit more without as high of a cost, or even, like, I don't know, maybe giving the characters the ability to spend some actions to observe a creature, to, like, understand, like, maybe how many hit points it has, or what it might do after you hit it. Because the reason why Arden is dead is because he whacked an explosive thing. So, bad things. I think that's how he died. I know we had some deaths according to that. Maybe that was Bryce. Maybe Bryce died in that manner. But yeah, the only other downside to me, and I definitely think that this is very much an opinion-based one, is I kind of wasn't a big fan of the ending. Now, to be fair, it wasn't bad. I still liked it. In terms of, like, I can see this being a valid ending, but it could be so much better. I think I said I liked it and I didn't like it at the same time. I didn't like it as much as I think I could have. But that's because I'm a big fan of things that build a world and then play with it. So this thing that is this game, like, it builds a world in which obviously the world is ending, right? There are these weird superstructures coming from underground, and we learned some of this because we went on these weird treks to another map, or, like, using the map that we found, and the binoculars. So we got to go to a couple extra places. We got to explore and see and get a little bit more backstory, which I liked very much. I'm very glad that those things were included. And you got some, like, I think we got an axe from one of them, and maybe some gas from the other. I don't remember what we got from the other one. Maybe we got our first pipe from the other one. But either way, like, we got some useful stuff from that, other than just story. But I think the story was the most valuable part of it, in terms of my gameplay experience. And I think that is both a strength and a weakness of this game, is that it creates this wonderful world, but it doesn't do very much with it. We kind of hit that end, and the game is over. Now, presumably, all our heroes die on that beach, or something else. But, like, we don't know. Like, they're kind of sitting in California, and that's where everything's at. Maybe, maybe there's a sequel planned for this or something that delves into it further. I don't think so. But I think it would have been really cool to have seen, like, one of those larger creatures, right, in the mist on the ocean, right, or something like that. Something they could have added a little bit more gravitas to the end, and maybe done a little bit more explanation of how things were going to proceed. Even if it did leave it at a cliffhanger in that way as well, I would have felt more satisfied. Now, that said, it very much could have been the developer's choice to make this ending. Like, maybe they couldn't think of a good way to end it, and so they ended it like this, or maybe they really wanted to end it like this. And since I can't know the intention of the developers, I mean, I suppose I could, like, check for posts or public comments that they've made or something, but without me inherently knowing their intentions here, I'm going to hope that they chose this ending on purpose. In which case, even though I didn't like it as much as I could have. Like, respect. Like, that's a hard way to end something, and it's going to make people maybe a little bit unhappy, but you are leaving things open. Like, really open. Like, it'd be awesome if you made a sequel and it, like, this game was recording who made it through and, like, these screens. Like, that would be cool. Not sure, though. One of the things that I definitely didn't dig into particularly further, friendly but aggressive, is, like, backstory. So, territorial but patient, maybe 11 years old. He is a good boy. Tori never knew her mom, hoping to find her friend. We never found her friend, but we also stopped looking. Picked her up right there, 1,000 miles, reached the ocean. Can throw things to your friends. I actually totally forgot about that ability. Jessie started with us, got the 1,000-mile traveler. Stopped cooking a long time ago, abandoned by her family. Unfortunate. Was she the one who made the comment about her kids? I'm forgetting now. And Bryce watched a heck of a lot of cable TV, abandoned by his family. I want to know if the abandoned by his family thing is a thing, like you know, it's an apocalypse thing, or if that's like a pre-apocalypse thing. Pupper doesn't like other dogs, which is weird because we had multiple dogs, but don't worry about it. 9 years old. Good dog, rode 1,000 miles. Noisy, yeah, likes to howl. Yeah, 2,100 miles. Arden loved working at the pet store. Still thinks poetry is lame. Unfortunately, he didn't make it, but he was another one of our starters. Sorry, Arden. I think we're going to go ahead and it done and see what happens. I've said most of what I have to say, right? Records. Okay, so I'm guessing that there are records. Oh, yeah, so these are the records. And that's it. Oh, and it actually says the day. Hey, guess what, guys? You can see how early I'm recording this. It's like a week and a half. Okay. Oh, I can do that, and then when I start... So there's a streaming thing, and you can do, like, map voting and weird stuff. I'm not sure how this works. I'm actually curious now. I should have had high. Oh no, I don't want to go low. It's kind of late now. So the badges, I assume, are achievements. We've only seen 31 out of 40 items. We've seen all the creatures. We haven't seen all the vehicles. We've seen all the biomes. So I'm assuming. Wait. We drove out in a truck, an SUV, and a van. Fill it with dogs? Really, that's the achievement? Because we did kind of fill ours with dogs. But I've only had 2 out of 4 vehicles. That's weird. So yeah, not sure what all of these are. Oh, I have it. Wait, no, because some of these are dark. But I think that I still got it. Oh, invited dog to join your party. I guess that is still grayed out. So yeah, we drove out in a van, but we haven't driven out in those two, so that's probably what it means. Because we haven't collected every item. That's a, no, never that. Complete the game with countdown enabled. So there is a countdown. Steal items from a camp? I thought I did that. So there's a discover the desert landmark. Discover the mountains landmark. I wonder if there are landmarks in other locations that I didn't find. The scenic overlook in the grasslands. So yeah, I'm wondering if there's some other stuff that I didn't find. I mean, I'm fairly sure that I had the long haul complete the game. Okay, so... Okay, so you can start... Wait, you can just... Okay, wait. Okay, so... Oh, no humans, dogs can drive. Oh, that's amazing, but I'm really concerned about why that's a thing. Is tourists just like make it super easy? No creatures, no badges. Okay. And there's expert, which adds extra creatures, no stun. Okay. So there are 2 more difficulties, and technically there's a lower difficulty, which makes it a 3rd difficulty. All dogs is weird, but clearly you can start wherever you want. I don't think I'm going to play another time through this game, at least not on channel. And the only reason for that is because if there's more stuff here, I think that you guys should play it and discover it as well. Like, I liked this game. I'm curious about more of it, but I have so many games that I want to move on to, and I can't put another giant string of these episodes together. I mean, granted, it's only 7 episodes. I mean, you could argue it would be 6 if I had known that the Reef was just an outro with no real danger and didn't have a 20-minute discussion of things I liked and disliked about the game. But I think there's a lot of promise here for at least some replayability, just because I haven't seen all the items. But I'm not like... I don't know. I'm curious what the other cars are. I'm curious what the other items that I didn't see are. But it's not enough to make me go, I want to play a whole new game to see them all. I kind of just want to look them up online and see what I was missing. Just because, as I said, as much as I enjoyed this game, I think one playthrough is really all that I needed from it. Because despite the fact that it is a roguelike to a degree, because of its high cost to failure in terms of how long the games are, it would feel really bad to start a game and die, like lose all your party members. Granted, it lets you retry the level, I suppose, but I don't know how often it does that. So I also don't know if I could have revived Arden. I think he vaporized, but I don't know for sure. Either way, I hope that you guys enjoyed this series. I will see you next week with something new, not sure what. But until then, keep your gears turning.